days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Life is better. Tell me what you want, I'll give you all that you need with my heart. My hand saying please, baby, please, because nobody does that thing you do better than you. And thoughts to swim around in my head.
And welcome to June's version of All Things Napa. I'm Desi Capaz.
And I'm Lee Miller. We've got a good show for you.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we say that every single month because we do have a good show every single month.
We do. And we're getting into the thick of things. I mean, it's the summertime. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about housing and the pathway home, really.
Yeah.
It's those two subjects that we have a lot going on. So who do we have today?
So we've got Christine Loeber. She's the Executive Director of the Pathway Home, and Ryan Gregory, County Supervisor, District 2. We also have our mortgage spotlight and our business spotlight.
That's right. And then, of course, our Napa Real Estate Minute and Napa Market Update. I mean, it's fun-filled. I mean, we have a whole hour. No, it's not an hour. I wish it was an hour, though. I wish it was.
It seems like it sometimes.
We need it sometimes. Yeah. We could just go on and on and on.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, what's going on next?
So we'll be right back with our business spotlight. We are honored to have Karina Guerrero with us today for our business spotlight. Welcome, Karina.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Desi.
Karina's with Farmers Insurance. And are all farmers agents created equal?
Well, Farmers is a great company, so we're really privileged to be able to work for Farmers. They are, you know, they really strive to provide education for agents and great products. They won't just write anything. They're pretty picky, especially on the commercial side. So
well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot because obviously
you're famous for
you're not going to say anything disparaging about other farmers agents. So just
Absolutely
tell us
not.
what's so wonderful about the Guerrero Farmers Insurance.
Okay, so well, what is really neat about our agency is we're a family owned and operated. My father-in-law started the agency in 1972. My husband was just born that year. And so this year we're really excited to be able to have my husband take over the business with being the agent of record this year and follow in his father's footstep. And it's a wonderful business, and we're honored to have the legacy to be able to hopefully pass on to our kids someday.
That sounds pretty cool.
And you guys are located right downtown on Clinton Street. So how is that? I mean, you haven't been there that long, have you?
Well, he started in Hayward originally way back when, but we've been in Napa, I want to say probably for about 25 years.
Well, I guess that's long.
Yeah, okay. Longer than me.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's good. And so what we would always like to ask is, you know, what kind of community involvement is the insurance agency do?
Okay, so well, we are on the Canine Guardians board. My husband and I are both, and service dogs really hit home for us because our daughter has a service dog, and so we love being able to provide service for and help other people get service dogs that can't afford one. So I'm on the board there. I'm the treasurer, and then my husband's a board member as well. So.
Wonderful.
Well, we just did that great golf tournament just not too long ago,
Yeah.
and that was a wonderful event, and you were a big part of it.
The
We
third
thank you.
annual Canine Guardians Golf Tournament,
That's right.
raising over $8,000.
That's right. Our best ever.
Yeah.
That's
We
great.
doubled profits this year.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that was the funnest golf tournament I've ever been to.
Funnest.
Funnest.
Is that a word?
It is now, I said it. So before, we've got about 20 seconds left, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to let the viewers know that you are my personal insurance agent, and when I was a victim of a hit and run, all I did was call you, and you took care of everything. You know, a lot of times when you call your insurance agent, they say, okay, well, sorry about that. You need to go ahead and call the 800 number and make a claim, and you didn't, you did everything for me. She made the car reservation, she made the reservation with the body shop, and everything was just done. So thank you very much, and that, I think, really sets you apart.
Great. You're welcome.
Well, let's put up her information
Yeah.
everybody knows how to get out in touch with her. As Karina over at 1016 Clinton Street here in beautiful Napa. It's 265-6565. I mean, can you remember that phone number? It's pretty easy, I think. So thank you very much, Karina, for coming on in. It was a pleasure. And well, next is our interview with Christina Loeber.
Christine Loeber.
Christine Loeber.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Executive Director of Pathway Home. Okay, well, that was Karina Guerrero, Farmers Insurance, proving once again that not all farmers insurance agents are the same.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And I just think of the song in my head and on the commercial. Dun 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 dun. You know.
Hope you got the right song.
I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karina. Anyway.
Anyway, we'll move along to Christine Loeber. Welcome, Christine. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Lee. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Desi,
of
Lee.
course.
So Christine is the executive director of the Pathway Home in Yountville. And tell us what is new with the Pathway Home.
Sure. Thanks, Lee. I'm really excited to be here today to talk about what's going on at the Pathway Home. We are so excited about welcoming new veterans into the home. We have refocused our mission. We are working with post 9/11 veterans who have been deployed, who have been in combat. They're coming back. They're trying to reintegrate back into civilian living, which sounds like it might not be that big of a deal, but it is. And even the veterans themselves often are finding, they're thinking it's going to be an easy transition, and then they're finding it a lot harder than they expected to be.
Right.
So we have a residential program up in Yountville, a transitional living facility where these veterans come and they stay with us. They're going to school, or they're looking to get into school. They're in vocational programming. They're trying to put the pieces of their life back together, but it's starting to get shaky. And so we have a program where they're coming to stay with us. We have wraparound mental health services. We have educational and professional supports. We're really trying to create a network, a community of people up at the Pathway Home and here in the community where we can support these veterans who are returning and helping them keep their lives on track, helping them get excited about this next chapter. Often after military service, it can be, feel like the end of mission.
Right, because it is concluding one chapter of their life, a chapter that is fraught with trauma, and you know they leave here an 18-year-old girl or boy almost, you know, barely a man or a woman, and they've been trained and told exactly what to do at every given moment of the day, and all of a sudden they come back and say, here you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they have been told what to do. Mission has been clear, how to execute that mission. They've worked hard to develop the skills to be able to do that effectively. And they get out, and oftentimes they're directionless. Many of them have limited support systems. And for many of these individuals, it's incredibly hard to say, I need help. They might start to feel as if things aren't going so well, but they don't want to say they need help. And that's where there's really an opportunity. So you mentioned that for these individuals, it can be a very traumatic experience, right? You're in combat, you're deployed, things are hard. You come back, a lot of those symptoms are behavioral. So you have a shorter fuse, you are more reactionary, you can't tolerate traffic, you can't drive during daylight hours. I mean, there's just a lot of things that can be triggers that these individuals might not yet understand. So what we want to do is we want to bring them in early. When these symptoms start to show up, we want to say, come stay with us. Come be a part of the Pathway Home. Let us help you, educate you about these symptoms, and get them addressed before your life goes off the tracks, before things get really, really bad.
Well, you know, the organization is real close to my heart because I lived in a household. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, and he had PTSD, and we just didn't really know about it as a family. Unfortunately, he took his life, back in '97. So I always consider him a casualty of war. Even though it took 27, 28 years to do it. But we as a family didn't know what to look for. We just didn't, we just didn't pay attention to it so much.
Didn't know as much as we do now. That's why it's so great that there is the Pathway Home for prevention in advance of treatment, but also treatment if need be. Well,
that's the direction I want to take it to is that are we providing family some help or signs or education in general to find these symptoms if they are, to alert some, because they're not going to go to you directly. A lot of them won't.
Yeah.
And I know my dad didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't think he needed help.
Right.
So are we providing that in the
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Part of it is education, and part of it is treatment. So the veterans are with us. They're living their day-to-day lives. They're going to school. They're getting into school, and we have services to assess those things. So they're getting assessment. If they have a partner or if they have a family, we have staff on site that can provide couples and or family therapy. And actually, the psychologist I'm referencing, she actually is with us at the Pathway Home 20 hours a week through a partnership that we have with the San Francisco VA healthcare system.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So in refocusing our mission and wanting to really intervene earlier on, we reached out to the San Francisco VA healthcare system for some guidance and some consultation, and that resulted in partnership. And the partnership is through an in-kind contribution of a staff psychologist, which is wonderful for us because the VA has a breadth and depth of knowledge and an understanding of how to help these returning men and women, but they can't always be nimble and responsive to the needs of the veteran in the moment. It's like trying to get a big ship to turn. But we can, as a private nonprofit, we can continue to be nimble and responsive, to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, it's not just the individual, it's the family.
Right.
And we can then just make sure that we're making supportive services available to a partner, to a family, and making sure that the whole family understands.
I'm really glad that you just mentioned nonprofit, because we only have about a minute left. It went fast, didn't it?
It goes really fast.
And because you mentioned VA health services and nonprofit, I think it's important that you explain to the viewers that you are not part of VA and that you are a nonprofit and what they might be able to do to assist this great mission that you do.
Absolutely. So anyone interested in supporting what we do, we can always use contributions to our cause by visiting us at thepathwayhome.org. Any donations to support our operation are wonderful. If you have a gift that is not treasure, but maybe more of time, and you want to share that with us in a way to volunteer, give us a call. We are so excited to have community members be a part of what we do and support. I would say, we're happy for folks to get involved.
It's definitely a great cause.
I can't conclude the interview without at least mentioning that there's also a golf tournament that you can play in on September 25th, of which I'm a co-chair. So that's a
perfect
fun
plug.
way.
Perfect plug.
That's a wonderful way. Have some fun, support the cause.
Get your checkbook out and write big checks for silent auction items and things of that nature.
But you don't have to wait for the golf tournament either.
You don't have to.
You can donate monthly, and I know I do a very small amount, but I do every month because it's an important cause in society. I mean, these boys are coming back, and they need help, and it's not like back in World War I or II where they were doing one tour, two tours. They're doing like 5 tours. These guys, so they're really battle hardened. So.
Yeah, and I will say we have partnerships with the CDVA. That's where we're located. We have partnerships with the San Francisco VA, but we are a private, independent, nonprofit, 501c3. We raise all of our funds independently. So partnerships are so important, and we are individually responsible for raising all of our funds. So support is always welcome. And I will just say, early intervention for these individuals is the most important thing. Let's get them early in their transition back before they go down this really dark path of losing family, losing kids, feeling hopeless, and becoming a casualty of war and through suicide, because we don't want that. We want to help them be hopeful about their lives and be really excited about this next chapter. So.
Well, thank you so much, Christine, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. It was
my
great.
pleasure.
See, it wasn't
my
that
pleasure.
bad,
It was great. It was great. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And we'll have her information up there. Christina Loeber, as she's the executive director, is 707-948-6678, and there's her email address. But coming up next is a Real Estate Minute with this guy right here, and we're going to talk about
my turn to talk?
Photography, right? Something about photography?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm going to leave the surprise. Right? All right, that's coming up next.
Lee Miller here with your Real Estate Minute. Today we're going to talk about photography. Photography in real estate is very important. Why, you say? Well, take a look right here. We've got an amateur photographer, same shot, and a professional. Now, I am a stickler. This is one of my pet peeves when I see a photograph of a property like the one on top. That is not doing your client a service at all. You need a professional photographer, and how could you call yourself a professional realtor if you're not doing professional photography? It's our fiduciary responsibility to represent our client's property in the best possible light. No pun intended with the light. If you'd like to talk to me about photography and real estate or any topics on real estate, please reach out to me. You can call me at 266-1585 or leewmiller@gmail.com. This is Lee Miller for your Real Estate Minute. Cheers to the Napa Valley Life.
All right, that was a great real estate minute there.
Well,
We
thank you very
appreciate
much
it.
for
Yeah.
complimenting me on the Real Estate Minute.
Well, we
I can
just
count on my co-host.
well, we need to know a little bit about photography and making that house look really
Yeah,
look
it's
good.
important. It's important.
Very important. Well, next we have Brian Gregory of the Napa County Supervisor in District 2.
That's right.
That's my district, actually. So
Yep.
welcome.
The best district.
That is.
Right.
I know. I enjoy it so much. And well, welcome and thanks for coming on and joining me and Lee. And we're going to hit you on. What we're going to hit you on is housing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Appropriate.
Yeah.
When you walk neighborhoods and you're campaigning or just talking to people,
Yeah.
housing's always top
Yep.
for folks.
Yeah. Well, and we feel pretty strong about it. I mean, I was up in Sacramento just a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the short supply. It's mainly to do with the short supply of housing and why the prices are going up and the demand's going up and so forth. So we're looking for areas to build, and it's difficult for builders to build and so forth. Regulations put into place, things like that. What is Napa doing that is helping toward the housing shortage?
Yeah, the need is so big. We're talking about thousands of units, and there's a lot of ways we can participate in this issue. But the best thing is to add to our supply and deal with that supply and demand problem. That's when you'll see rents and home prices go down. So that's what we often dwell on, although there's a lot of different ways government can participate. But in terms of adding supply and actually creating an environment where new housing can get built, I think government has a couple of roles to play. One is zoning and making sure we have land out there that is zoned appropriately for multifamily housing, and hopefully even might have a affordable housing overlay on it, which requires a certain level of affordable housing. So government's role is to make sure that there's enough of an inventory out there to build on. And without that, you're nowhere. So we've got to do that. And second is, continue to raise money. We need a recurring source of revenue for affordable housing construction. It's subsidies or however we want to spend it. So we need to use what we have now in a smart way, but also look to find new money.
And is TOT one of the sources for that?
Well, TOT certainly is and can be. It is growing lately, and TOT is a great source of money for all of us government folks because it's unrestricted.
That's
Unrestricted, and
Right.
transient occupancy
incredible.
tax for those that don't know what TOT is.
Thank you.
Basically a hotel tax.
yeah, 12%. 12% the tourists pay as a tax on their room rate. That comes directly to, if it's in the county, it comes to us. If it's a hotel that's in the city, it goes to that city. But it's our money, and we get to do what we want with it. As a county, we decided years ago that we were going to take a part of it and spend it on a handful of things. This board just agreed to look at moving some of the money we were using on marketing Napa Valley and actually using it to fund our affordable housing.
I think you did a real good
I
job
think
on the
so.
marketing. Probably okay to pull back on
Well,
that.
we did, and since we've developed the TID, which is another 2%, which actually well funds now the marketing efforts. So we can pull that back and now redirect it to housing. So we're talking about adding some new money every year to the pot. And again, but again, we got to be smart with how we spend it.
Well, and I'm always, I don't know, surprised, whatever the adjective is, that people say, well, the government doesn't know what they're doing, and we got another hotel coming up. We don't need another hotel. We need housing, and it's like, well, that's where some of the money's coming from, and so it's like it's so important that you be able to educate And you know, when I'm on Nextdoor and I'm seeing all these comments about the Health and Human Services project, and there's just so much wrong information, and I want to make comments, but then I need to just like shut my computer and let you figure it out.
Yeah, so Old Sonoma Road, that's how we're calling it. We're labeling it Old Sonoma Road, but that is a perfect example of what I mentioned just a few minutes ago. What we're working on is simply, it's zoned quasi-public because it's been a public use for so long. So we're actually, what we're trying to do as a county is we're trying to get it zoned appropriately for multifamily housing, and we want to see an overlay on it that, and what a zoning overlay is a thing you put on top of the zoning that goes further. And in this case, we would say that so much of it has to be deed restricted affordable. And that's a setting where it's a relatively successful model where you allow some market rate units, and you give a density bonus, and you allow more of those to help fund the deed restricted affordable units.
That sounds great for the developer, but then the neighbors are like,
well, not in my backyard, right? Kind of thing. And I know that in that project they were having some discussion because it was going to be about 3 stories high, maybe. Blocking some of their views, things like that. So
and
how
then
do
you have the historical aspect, of historical preservation aspect on top of that. It's like 3 perfect storms of figure this out.
Yeah, and we've heard some really valuable feedback from the neighbors. Really good feedback that's influenced the project so far, and will continue. So you've got to listen to the neighbors, particularly those in the edges. So, for example, wherever we're taller and denser, we're going to be further away from the existing single family, for example, and closer to juvenile hall. But where we abut single family, we're going to be lower. We're going to be 2 stories or less, and we're going to be probably condos instead of multifamily buildings. So you've got to be very sensitive, and the only way you know what the neighborhood wants is by listening to them. And we're right in the middle of that process. June 20th would be our next opportunity as a board to talk about all the stuff we've heard, and then take the project a little bit further. That'll be June 20th at our regular board meeting. I'm not exactly sure at what point in the day it will be. But if folks want to check it on the agenda, it'll probably be a time certain item on there.
You know, and it's really important that you mention that, because it's one thing to jump onto Nextdoor and type your heart out, but then not show up to the meeting. So you want that feedback, and this is your opportunity to express to the board. This is how we feel about it.
Favorable opinions, because the opposing opinions are always there. It's the favorable opinions we need people up there talking to you about, and June 20th would be your opportunity. I would assume so.
But it's great that you're getting that feedback, you're taking it to heart, you're making adjustments so that it's not going to be 5 stories and X number of units or whatever. You're gonna figure that out and do a nice compromise.
And in my past life, just 4 months ago, I was a civil engineer, and my specialty was doing housing projects. And I've done a handful of the multifamily projects in Napa. They turn out great. They're well managed. Sometimes they're the best managed property in the whole neighborhood.
That's great.
So this, I truly believe, as we're following this process, we'll end up with something that's going to be good for the neighborhood in the long run.
Well, just hopefully, like, SECA doesn't get into the equation. That's big talk too.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
I know.
Yeah, got to do it.
I know.
Well, I live about a par 4, maybe a par 5 away from there, just on the east side of Jefferson. So I'm in that area.
You're in that area.
So Well, Ryan, thank you very much for being here and letting us know what's going on. And we do encourage you to reach out to Ryan. We'll put his contact info up there. He's very accessible as a county supervisor. You can give him a call at 253-4386, or there's his email address. Let him know what you think about these upcoming issues or any other issues that are facing the county. Coming up next, we're going to go to Stephen Smith, our mortgage spotlight. We'll be right back.
You got it right. And that was a great interview with Ryan Gregory.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was very interesting.
It's important that people get involved.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So next on our mortgage spotlight is Stephen Smith. And Stephen Smith, thanks for joining us.
You're more than welcome. Thanks, Desi.
It's always good to see you. So, Steve, tell us a little bit about your business. We know you're a mortgage lender, but, what's your niche?
My niche is renovation lending. Our inventory in California is probably averaging about 60 years old. So that when you find a property that somebody wants to sell, in more cases than not, that property needs the bathrooms updated, needs new floor coverings, needs the kitchen updated, needs new appliances, needs a new roof. And so with this particular loan, it enables the borrower to have the funds without pulling it out of their retirement or their savings. And they let the property pay for itself.
Nice.
The advantage of the product is that we base the loan on the improved value.
A future
Not
appraisal.
exactly.
Right.
Not on the value that it as it sits today. So it's quite unique compared to other forward loans that are out there.
Well, how do you make that determination, though, on what its future value is based on those improvements? You just do an adjust price on it?
What we usually require is a comprehensive bid from a contractor. Then we take that and we add that to the amount of the mortgage that they have against the property, and we look at the finished product. The finished value is our loan to value at about 96.5% of that improved value. If it is, and the customer can qualify for that monthly payment, then we're in business.
Great. Well, one of the things that we like to do, since we're all things Napa and community, in addition to talking about your product, what are some of the things that you or your company does in the community to give back?
Well, the company pretty much allows the loan officers to choose which organizations that they want to participate in.
Okay.
Obviously, through the real estate community, we do a lot of different events with golf tournaments and fundraisers, pathway homes, so forth. My particular interest is through music. I play in a cowboy band.
Oh, no kidding.
And so we go to the vet's home and we play Western music.
As long as I've known you, I had no idea.
Right, no idea.
So I get a lot of joy from that. The veterans, when they hear Sons of the Pioneers type songs, they perk right up.
Oh, I bet. What do you play?
I play the upright bass.
Okay.
Nice.
So
I think we
very
have to go to
cool.
one of those shows.
Yeah.
Put on
'Cause
my
my wife
cowboy hat.
works out at the vet's home. So.
well, if she's heard of Passing Through, then she probably knows the band.
All
Because
right.
we're out there usually once a month to help to entertain for the veterans.
Oh, that must be just a tremendous amount of satisfaction.
It is.
you get.
And the veterans are, I mean, just to go and talk to them, the history that's standing right there in front of you,
Right.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is.
So I encourage everybody to go out to the vet's home. It's a great gym that's right here in our backyard.
You're right. You're exactly
It
right.
really is. Well, Stephen, thank you very much for being here and sharing a little mortgage update with us. We really appreciate it. We're going to come right back, and guess who's going to be next? It's going to be Desi giving us a market update.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss that.
Hi, this is Desi Capaz with your Napa Market Update, and today we're going to talk about homes for sale and what's on the market right now. It's a little bit at a decrease this month from last year. It's 11.5% decrease of homes for sale on the market. So what that tells you is that we're not getting enough inventory out there, and that's what we're really starving for right now. The only way people can find, at least with prices below $750,000, that's the main sweet spot in Napa, and what you would so-called call it affordable housing. So that's what we need in Napa, and we're not seeing enough come on the market. So please, if you're looking to sell your house, give me a call at 707-260-9906 or go on my website at unlocknapavalley.com. Enjoy the Napa Valley life.
Well, that's bringing to conclusion another successful show of All Things Napa.
Yep.
Hope you learned something. Hope you want to get involved.
Yeah.
Hope you want to donate to Pathway Home.
Well, those are the things we try to bring out into the community. So, you know, get everybody educated on the different programs out there that you can be involved in. So,
Because you can't really complain about it unless you do something about it.
right,
So-
exactly. And just going back to you know, the city council or the county supervisors getting together, we need more favorable opinions, not the opposing opinions. So that's important. But hey, listen, if you have any feedback of this show, there it is, allthingsnapatv@gmail.com. Please write us anything. I don't care. We just want to hear from you.
Yeah, even if it's not a suggestion, just drop us an email and say hello.
Yeah, let us know how we're doing.
Yeah. Thanks. We'll see you guys next month.
Yeah, that's right. In July for All Things Napa.
Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. Life is better. Tell me what you want, I'll give you all that you need with my heart. My hand saying please, baby, please, because nobody does that thing you do better than you. And thoughts to swim around you.